Good morning, everyone. My name is Devika, Assistant Professor of Chemistry at the H&S department. Today, I'm going to explain fuels. It is the fourth unit of first BTech Engineering Chemistry, first semester and second semester. Let's go to our topic. In these fuels, we are going to discuss about introduction of fuels, classification of fuels, characteristics of fuels, and then analysis of fuels. Fuels. A fuel can be defined as the combustible substance containing carbon as the major constituent. Here I will write a fuel can be defined as the a combustible substance containing carbon as the major constituent, which is capable of liberating high amount of energy. Amount of heat energy that can be used for the industrial and domestic needs. This is the definition of a fuel. A fuel can be defined as the combustible substance contains containing carbon as the major constituent, which is capable of liberating high amount of heat energy that can be used for the industrial and domestic needs. This is the definition of fuel. Next, the main source of these fuels are coal and petroleum and natural gas. During the process of liberation of this coal, this fuel, the atoms of carbon, hydrogen, and etc., which combine with oxygen with the simultaneous liberation of heat at a rapid rate. This energy is liberated due to the rearrangement of valence electrons in these atoms, resulting in the formation of carbon dioxide and water. Next, we'll go for the classification 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 of the fuels. Fuels can be classified into two ways. First one is on the basis of their occurrence. Second type is on the basis of their physical state. These are the classification of fuels on the basis of their which can be available on the basis of their occurrence and physical state of aggregation. This is the classification. Again, on the basis of their occurrence, again fuels can be classified into different ways. First one is primary fuels. Or natural fuels. Second one is secondary fuels or artificial fuels. On the basis of their occurrence, fuels also can be classified in two ways. One is primary fuels or secondary fuels. Second one is second synthetic fuels or artificial fuels or secondary fuels. Again, these primary fuels and secondary fuels can be again classified into three ways. One is solid fuels, second one is liquid fuels, third one is gaseous fuels. Gaseous fuels. If we take the example of these solid fuels, coal, peat, wood, and etc. If you take the example of these liquid fuels, mineral oil, that means petroleum. If you take the example of gaseous fuels, natural gas. These are the examples of primary fuels or secondary fuels. What are primary fuels or natural fuels? Here, these fuels are obtaining or we are getting naturally. These are not man-made. Next, we go for second type. Secondary fuels or artificial fuels. Secondary fuels are artificial fuels. These are man-made fuels. These fuels can be prepared from the primary fuels basically. Again, these are also classified into different ways like solid fuels, solid fuels. For these solid fuels, we can take the example of coke, charcoal, and etc. And next one is liquid fuels. Liquid fuels. For these liquid fuels, we can take the example of petrol, kerosene, and etc. And third one is gaseous fuels. Gaseous fuels. For this gaseous fuels, we can take the example of coal gas, producer gas, water gas, and etc. These are the examples of secondary fuels or artificial fuels. This is the classification about fuels. Next, we'll go for the characteristics of characteristics of a good fuel. Characteristics of good fuel. If you choose one fuel that should possess some good properties. Under this, we can see the examples of like a fuel that should possess high calorific value, and next that should possess moderate ignition temperature, and that should have low ash content, and that should have low moisture content, and that should have moderate velocity of combustion, and that should have low non-combustible matter, and that should have good combustion nature. These are the characteristics of a good fuel. First one is that should have high calorific value. A good fuel should possess high calorific value, which results in the liberation of large amount of heat. And that should have moderate ignition temperature. That means the lowest at which the fuel is preheated and catches the fire. A good fuel should possess moderate ignition temperature. And that should give low ash content. An ideal fuel should possess low ash content. When a sample of coal with high ash content is used in furnace. The ash produced in the furnace melts due to high temperature and forms hard masses called clinkers. And next one is that should have low moisture content. The moisture content of a coal sample reduces the heating value of fuel. However, some amount of moisture is required to prevent the clinker formation. Hence, a sample of coal should possess low ash content. Moderate velocity of combustion. Next one is moderate velocity of combustion. A good fuel should possess moderate velocity of combustion to prevent the loss of heat by radiation. Next one is low non-combustible matter. A fuel should possess low content of non-combustible matter. And next one is combustion nature. A good fuel should undergo combustion easily, non-spontaneous and controllable without smoke. These are the characteristics of a good fuel. Next one is we will discuss solid fuels. Solid fuels. Solid fuels are nothing but we can choose wood, peat, lignite, coal, and charcoal. In addition to these fuels, we also can choose rice husk, coconut, and nut shells. The main solid fuels are wood, peat, lignite, coal, and charcoal. Then go for the advantages of solid fuels. If we see this, the advantages of the solid fuels, these are easy to transport, and the storage. Next one is the storage of these good fuels very easy without any risk. And the solid fuels are having moderate ignition temperature. And next, if you see the disadvantages of solid fuels, from these solid fuels, it will produce ash and clinkers formation, which are very disadvantageous. And next disadvantage is low calorific value. When compared with the liquid and gaseous fuels, solid fuels possess low calorific value. This is the one of disadvantage from the solid fuels. And next, for the solid fuels, excess of air is required for complete combustion of these solid fuels. These are the advantages and disadvantages of solid fuels. For this, as a solid fuel, we can choose coal. Coal. What is coal? Coal is a fossil fuel which occurs in the earth crust. It is formed by the partial decay of plant materials accumulated millions of years ago and further altered by the action of heat and pressure. The formation of coal is explained by the two theories. Two theories. Two theories. One is in situ theory. Second one is draft theory. What is in situ theory? According to this in situ theory, the coal is formed at the place where vegetation grew and gets accumulated. This phenomenon normally leads to the formation of coal, which is of highest purity. Next, second one is drift theory. According to drift theory, this is also called transportation theory because the organic matter, vegetables, and wood particles like trees particles and etc. were drifted or transported by rivers to lake and get deposited here and undergo gradual decomposition. The coal formed by this process is usually associated with great thickness. Hence, it is highly carbonous matter formed as a result of decomposition of the vegetable matter. Here, the wood is converting. Here, the wood is converting to peat. The peat is converting to lignite, are also called brown coal, which is converting to bituminous coal, from this, which is converting to anthracite. Anthracite to graphite. Graphite. Okay, this is the process of conversion of wood into coal. Wood, from this wood it is getting converting a peat and then lignite or brown coal and then bituminous coal. From this anthracite, from this anthracite to graphite. Next, here this classification of coal, we need to classify according to their rank, which is measure of the chain it has undergone in the transition from wood to graphite. The classification according to the rank is largely based on the carbon content. The carbon content, calorific values and main applications of these solid fuels. Here we can see, like if you see wood, the major, if you see the calorific values of each of these one, wood which contains 4,000 to 4,500 calorific value, this wood can be used for the domestic purpose as a domestic fuel. Next one is peat. The calorific value of this peat is 4,125 to 5,400. Use if deficiency of high rank coal is prevailing. Next one is lignite. The calorific value of this one is 6,500 to 7,100, which is used for the generation in thermal power plants and for the production of producer gas. If you see bituminous coal, the calorific value of bituminous coal is 8,000 to 8,500, which is used for making coal gas and metallurgical coke, and also it can be used for the generation in thermal plants, for the steam generation, sir. And next, last one is anthracite, which have high calorific value. The carbon constant is very more here, which is 8,650 to 8,700, which is used for the households and for steam rising, and also used in the metallurgical purpose where no smoke and high local heat is desired. This is the classification of coal and its calorific value. Next, while we are choosing this coal, we need to analyze the coal. Because the composition of coal, which varies widely, and hence it is necessary to analyze the coal sample. To analyze this coal sample, here we can use two types of analysis. One is proximate analysis. Second one is ultimate analysis. By using of these two analysis, we can choose the coal. This is today's class. Thank you. We'll discuss in analysis in next class.